Ever since NABARD has been established with a first balance sheet of 4,500 crores, NABARD had always seen a growth coming in its way. One is with regard to the financials, always it was growing, and it had made a stupendous progress, reaching from 4,500 crores to 7.57 lakh crores in a period of 40 years. Likewise, the profitability was there. But I can measure NABARD not on the metrics of the figures, but at the same time in the developmental initiatives NABARD had rolled out so far. NABARD was the institution which had created the institution of self-help group and the women empowerment, which in turn had created quite a lot of things in the Indian ecosystem. The other one is NABARD had designed and delivered the Kisan Credit Card, and now which is celebrating its 25th year, through which the entire credit to the farmers is going through this one. Likewise, NABARD had created joint liability groups for the landless farmers, and today we are having more than 1.5 crore of joint liability groups, which are delivering close to around 70 to 80,000 crores of hassle-free, collateral-free credit to the people who are doing the tenant farming and others. Besides this, NABARD had done a wonderful job with regard to creating the rural infrastructure by having the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. In the last 27 years, NABARD had given more than 7.1 lakh crore projects which were implemented and which encompasses quite a lot of a diversity with regard to the watershed programs, with regard to the culverts, bridges, rural roads, Anganwadis, including the ropeways, etc. So that is how actually NABARD's contribution in the last 40 years has grown from year on year, and today we have become a formidable force to reckon with. NABARD had taken so much of effort in pushing forward the developmental initiatives, both in farm sector, non-farm sector, and also the institution building like FPOs and SHGs. So this year 21-22, we had a wonderful year with regard to the business, with regard to the developmental initiatives, with regard to the profitability, and also meeting the stakeholders' expectations. NABARD during the last 40 years had made a name for itself, and every year we bring out our annual report highlighting the performance and also the achievements besides the contemporary topics. This year, the year 2021-22, we had a spectacular performance of achieving a business target of close to around 7.57 lakh crores, doing a growth rate of around 15.7%. By showcasing this thing in the global standard is our motto, and in that process, we made the content, quality and brevity as a hallmark of this new annual report. Now, unlike last years, we have reduced the number of words to close to around 30,000 from the 50,000. That itself is a remarkable thing. But at the same time, we had improved the graphics, we had made it the bullet form, and we made the content so good and brief so that all the readers will come to know really how the things have been presented. This year's annual report, we have 12 chapters, and like every year, we have a very good theme chapter this year also. In the previous years, actually, we had theme chapters on fisheries, on watershed, on FPOs and everything. And this time, we made a theme chapter, Harvesting Gold in Indian Agriculture. And this particular thing is very contemporary, as Indian agriculture is on a threshold with regard to the production, productivity and also the export orientation. If I really look into the thing, actually how to bring the youth into the agriculture and also enthuse the people to pursue the agriculture in a totally different format, this new chapter which we are putting in as a theme chapter is giving quite a lot of an insight, as we have selected 4 sub themes within this one with regard to the horticulture, allied activities, then institutions and also the technology. Now these are the 4 things which are very contemporary, and as we have seen that during the last few years, there is a real paradigm shift that had happened with regard to the technology adaptation in the agriculture, and also many people are taking the horticulture and other allied activities in a big way, as the integrated farming systems combining all these activities are proving to be very profitable to the farmer, and that is going to be the biggest game changer in this entire Indian agricultural context. So we have created an exclusive chapter which will be of a great interest to all the readers. The problems with the Indian agriculture is, over a period of time, the Indian agriculture has seen a tectonic shift from large and medium sized farms to the small and marginal farms. Today actually we have more than 86% of the farms which are small and marginal, and the small and marginal farmers are not in a position to invest great amount of capital into developing the infra at the farm level, and that is the one which is coming in the way of pushing up the productivity on a sustainable basis. So now, to tackle all these problems, we are coming out with the new solutions with regard to creating new collectives and a new kind of institutions by roping in farmers so that they can create a common infrastructure and others. The other problems with the Indian agriculture is, first of all, when the fragmented land is a big issue, the other one is the low productivity and lack of great amount of a technology at that small farm level. And the third one is the market. Actually now at the end of it, actually market is the one which plays a very crucial role, because farmers do not have much of a choice except to sell in the market. So the futures trading or maybe some kind of a mechanisms have to come in the place so that the farmers will get protected. And also the new technologies that are coming up actually has to be accessible to all the small and marginal farmers. So that is also one challenge which we are trying to look into it as to how to solve it. Indian agriculture sector was not affected so badly, and actually we have performed very well by showing a growth rate of close to around 3.8 or 3.4% both the years. So that itself is a very big kind of a thing. That is the contribution of the agriculture to the economy as a whole. And to offset the kind of the problems with regard to the COVID times, institutions like NABARD, Reserve Bank of India and Government of India have come out with quite a lot of measures with regard to declaring the Atmanirbhar package and also giving the ASLF funds and also relaxing some of the norms so that the banks will continuously get the credit flow uninterruptedly, and that is why that never the credit was an issue in the whole of this one. And most of the banks and also the financial institutions have done wonderful job with regard to purveying the credit. If you can look into the statistics, the entire credit portfolio of the agriculture sector had gone up from around close to around 13.5 lakh crores to close to around 17.10 lakh crores, which indicates the confidence of the institutions in the agriculture sector as such, and also in the resilience of the agricultural production and also the profitability of the things. That is how actually entire COVID times was taken care by the Indian agriculture sector. During the last 2 years, actually we have created quite a lot of new products and we have pushed credit also to the sectors. Take the case of Special Liquidity Fund. The fund which was created under Atmanirbhar package by the Reserve Bank of India had been transmitted to the rural financial institutions almost within no time, which in turn had made the entire banking sector to extend the credit to the farmers without any kind of hassles. Likewise, we have relaxed some of the norms to the RRBs and the cooperatives so that actually even in the places like Northeast and Central India where there were quite a lot of problems, these people were able to push credit to that agricultural sector. Besides this, we have created some of the new products as the primary agricultural credit societies to the multi-service societies, where by dovetailing the Government of India's subvention, we made credit available at 1%, and quite a lot of primary societies are already started taking advantage. Likewise, we have created new products for the watershed financing, we have created new products for the wash products, and also many other interventions for the FPOs, and creating a FPO credit guarantee fund through our new subsidiary which has been created during the COVID time, NAB Samrakshan. So these are all the very significant things which we have done during the COVID time. That is why the post-COVID is going to be much better, because for whatever work we have done and the systems we have created during the COVID time are going to give dividends in the years to come. NABARD has got a mandate where it is a integrated rural development is there. So now in that process we are concentrating well on one, creating awareness among women to be the economic agents in the economy by organizing them into the self-help groups and also giving them the training through the MEDPs, LEDPs and also bringing them into the OFPOs. The other one is identifying the various activities which are very crucial and where they require quite a lot of an assistance to create a new institution, so that the activities related to the off-farm sector can be market oriented. In the last 10 years, close to around 15,000 FPOs have been created and established in this country, of which NABARD itself has done close to around 6,000. Moreover, seeing the success of this one, Government of India has come out with the central sector scheme of 10,000 FPOs to be rolled out by 2024. Now, if I look into the performance of these 15,000 FPOs, actually they have various shades, but at the same time I can say more than 50% of them really taken the business in a very serious note, and they are doing quite a lot. NABARD during this COVID period had offered end-to-end solutions to this entire sector. One is for promoting the FPOs, second is to nurture them, and third one is to give credit to them through the subsidiaries of NABARD, and the fourth one is to create a credit guarantee fund again through the subsidiary of NABARD. So in that way, it's an end-to-end solution. Besides this, NABARD is also taking part in the open network digital commerce, which is going to create market to the FPO products and also the OFPO products. NABARD is meant even for the development of rural areas in the non-farm sector also. That is where we are concentrated a lot with regard to creating institutions in the non-farm sector, by giving the trainings to them, by roping in youth and the women in a big way into this non-farm sector activities, and creating off-farm producers organizations. Today we have quite a lot of them which are doing so well. The establishment of new Ministry of Cooperation in the central government is a vindication of our belief that cooperatives are going to play a very crucial role in the entire rural society of this country. So in that process, NABARD also being the refinancer, being the institutional developer and also the supervisor, has got a very big role in making this cooperative much more vibrant. So in that process, we helped the cooperatives to acquire the core banking solution CBS some time back, and right now we are bringing such similar kind of a solution for the primary agricultural credit societies by way of computerizing them. The moment actually this new project which we are rolling out just now, the moment it gets completed, the cooperatives spread over the country will have a same kind of a system like the commercial banks are having, so that the cooperative accounts will be very transparent. The members will be very confident of the institution with which they are dealing, and the institutions can grow further because of the confidence the members bring it, and also increasing the borrowing membership from the nominal membership. When all these things are going to happen, cooperatives are going to be revived. So now further to revive them and also put them on a kind of a level playing field with the other institutions, NABARD had created the business development cells with the central cooperative banks, PAX development cells, and also plethora of other initiatives where we have started giving to the cooperatives. So in that process, cooperatives are going to play a bigger role in the days to come. Bring sustainability to the agriculture, there should be capital formation. Definitely there should be infrastructure development, both at the public and also at the private level. So NABARD has got a distinct advantage of funding both. Now in case of the public infrastructure creation, NABARD's Rural Infrastructure Development Fund and also NIDA, NABARD Infrastructure Development Assistance, both of them have got a very crucial role to play to create that kind of infrastructure, which in turn will give a boost to the entire production and also connectivity, markets and everything there. And at the same time, NABARD through its refinance, through the banks, will give money to create that private infra at the ground level, that is at the individual farmers level. Whether it is putting a pump set or a bore well, drip irrigation systems, solar systems, or buying the farm machines and also taking up the allied activities, any kind of thing if you see. So that is how this private capital formation at the individual farmer level. So both the things when NABARD is working on it, actually it is going to create a sustainable kind of an ecosystem for the Indian agriculture to go ahead. The climate change has got two kinds of issues. One is that really how to tackle it, whether it is by mitigation or it is by adaptation. Mitigation is a very big subject where it is an inter-institutional and also so many players have to be there. But at the same time, the adaptation is the one which can be done at the individual farmer level. So now, to do all these things, NABARD has already started work on this for the past decade, and going by the cloud, maybe the work done by NABARD in the last 4 decades, the United Nations Fund for Climate Change had accorded its status of that national implementation entity, and the Green Climate Fund and others have given that direct access entity. So now in that process already we started rolling out some 40 projects to demonstrate the climate change work to the farmers as to how to adapt to the new changes that are happening. So now in the years to come, we are going to, NABARD has to create a climate change related literacy and at the same time devise the green banking products which will factor the new things that have to be done at the farm level, so that the farmers can take them up and also stay in the farming without losing any kind of a productivity and also the ensuring the profitability of the farms. Digitalization and that is a very important thing right now in this era. So now everything is coming into the digital format, whether it is application, sourcing the application to the sanctioning of the application to transferring the money and also creating the entire thing. Now everything is happening in a jiffy because of the digitization of the whole of the operation. So NABARD is not immune to such kind of a change. So now in the last 1 decade, we had taken quite a lot of steps to go into this kind of a computerization and also digitization. So now if you look into it, NABARD itself has got its core banking solutions and all the NABARD's operations right now are online. So now whether it is the fund transfer or anything. But at the same time, we are very conscious of the computerization, the digitization of the operations of our client institutions. That is where NABARD is working so closely with the cooperative banks to create their CBS, through the primary societies to have a computerization, to the RRBs, there also we helped many of them to have a CBS, and also that we always give advice to all of them as to really how to go for this one. And today when the cyber security has become a big issue, we are helping most of the banks to create their own CISEC cells so that they will not fall prey to that cyber crook. So these are all the things which we are doing it, and moreover within our organization actually our inspection reports, actually where we conduct inspections of all the rural banks, we have created a new software where that inspections can be done with the help of software in a very short period, and also by taking into account all the data in a good fashion. So now that is how we are doing quite a lot of things in this digitization era. Any institution that is doing credit has to be supervised to see that they follow all the prudential norms and they don't indulge in any kind of a malpractices, and at the same time the purpose for which the institutions are created that also have to be ensured. So now All the supervision which we are doing is to safeguard the interest of the depositors and at the same time the health of the institution. So that is where NABARD every year we have a program to supervise a number of institutions, whether the DCCBs, whether they are the state cooperative banks or the regional rural banks which are doing this rural credit, and we have a schedule, and the moment actually we take that supervision, we rate the institutions based on their performance and we suggest the corrective actions, and we advise the Reserve Bank of India to take appropriate actions in case if they have to be put on the even keel. And also that we do quite a lot of other things by negotiating with the various stakeholders to put capital and other things, because all these things emanate from the erosion of the assets or any kind of thing will emanate from the supervision which we do, and that is the basis for us to do the institutional development. NABARD has got 7 subsidiaries, of which 3 are the credit related subsidiaries, finance related, and remaining are doing the different kind of work. If I really look into this, 3 of the credit related subsidiaries, that one is the NAB Fins, which does the entire microfinance operations. The other one is the NAB Kisan, which is working so closely with the FPOs, and the other one is the NAB Samruddhi, which works with the OFPOs and also the other NBFCs. So these are the 3 finance related NBFCs which are doing very well, and all of them are systemically important NGOs also, NBFCs also. While we have other subsidiaries like NAB Ventures is the one which is spearheading the venture capital assistance to the agri related kind of startups, and we have the NAB Samrakshan, which is doing the credit guarantee operations for the FPOs and also AHIDF. And we have NAB Cons actually, which is a very big subsidiary of ours, which is doing the entire consultancy operations for most of the state governments and also the other private people also. And finally, we have a subsidiary called NAB Foundation, which does quite a lot of work on behalf of NABARD to showcase some of the projects which can be taken up by the other CSR organizations also. In the last 75 years, India has become from a very small insignificant producer of food, and also sometimes they used to say that ship to mouth kind of existence to from farm to the ship. Actually now we are in a position to export food items to many countries, and we have become a food basket to feed many of the countries which are dependent on this one. And at the same time, in the next 25 years, we are going to do much better as the new technologies have come. Actually, technologies with regard to the genetic or the breeding kind of technologies with regard to the agronomy, technologies with regard to the IoT, Internet of Things, which is shaping entire agriculture in a totally different way, and also the new institutions and the new startups that are coming to take up this kind of a thing. So all these things, and also attraction of youth to this kind of a new technologies and trying to put them on the ground to create that kind of an output actually is going to be a very, very big thing and significant thing, this one. Now the startups, incubations, and also other new things that are coming in the entire Indian agricultural sector they are going to create quite a lot of a buzz, and in the next 25 years, that is in the Amrit Kal, India is going to become the world's food exporter and also give the dividends to the farmers who are dependent on that one. That is where actually that entire policy makers and also the institutions are working. And as chairman of NABARD, I am extremely confident that the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is a very big thing to celebrate with regard to the success we achieved. But we are looking forward to the Amrit Kal, where India is going to make big strides with regard to the Indian agricultural production, exports, and also the profitability. In the next 25 years, first of all, we have to concentrate on creating resilient and robust institutions which purvey the credit at the affordable rate. The next one is creating an ecosystem where you are going to develop new technologies in all kinds of spheres, which can be accessible to the farmers and also at the affordable rate. The third one is working on the climate change in a very big way, because that is going to be the entire thing that is going to affect the production and also everything in this country and the world. So now NABARD has to work on all these areas. One is with regard to that climate change related issues, so that the adaptation and also mitigation measures have to be put into the agriculture. Then the next one is creating the new technologies, startups and everything. And the third one is with regard to creating institutions to give the credit at the most affordable rate, so that all these new things that are going to happen will be taken up by the farmers, as they are the ones who are the major stakeholders in this entire process. I wish that NABARD should continue to progress well, should diversify its activities, should take the contemporary activities of that time into its fold, and at the same time build its balance sheet and also not leaving the developmental orientation. So now these are the cardinal principles on which everyone has to work. And in the years to come, as the agriculture is turning into a kind of a new dynamic kind of a sector, with the exports growing, with the world looking at Indian agriculture as the major source of food production, and also the new technologies that are coming into the system, and also that many of the youth are trying to come back to the agriculture to try all these kinds of things. NABARD has got a very great role to play in propelling all these things. So now our major stakeholder is a farmer, but at the same time the other major stakeholders are the government and also the others. Actually, they also have expectations on these institutions. So now the people who are going to be in this organization for the next 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, they have to look into the mandate of NABARD very seriously. They have to work on the frameworks that have been created. They have to work on the various new aspects that will emerge in the years to come and in the days to come, and at the same time devise the mechanisms to address the problems of the rural areas and also the agriculture and also other related kind of things. And at the same time, they should work for the resilience of the rural credit institutions, without whom all these things will not work. So now we have a role cut very, very clearly, and we have to work on these things in a very systematic way. And in the years to come, NABARD should grow from strength to strength, and that is what the wish of everyone who presided over this organization, and it is my wish also.